If you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title of the video, and you clicked anyway just in case, the off chance that I'm actually just clickbaiting all of y'all, no, I wish I was, but it has finally happened. Squad, the tactical milsim game that is known for some of the most realistic and cinematic moments in FPS gaming, is officially turning to microtransactions. Off-World Industries just released this announcement titled Squad 4.2. Emotes and future monetization in Squad. And although I'll post the full announcement in the description down below if you want to read it word for word, let me first take a moment to read you the specifics. The devs write, with the upcoming release of Squad 4.2, we'll be introducing something new for both Squad and Off-World as a studio. Alongside the usual improvements, bug fixes, and a game engine update to Unreal V 4.27, this will be the first update where we add a new form of content to Squad with the introduction of emotes. Emotes are animations which you can use to express yourself, interact with each other, celebrate in-game situations, or brighten up downtime. We hope they will enhance the social and cinematic aspects of your Squad experience. As a thank you for all your years of support for Squad, all players will be receiving a free emotes pack on initial release. There will also be 2 packages of paid emotes that will be sold through an in-game connection to the Steam store. Now, my initial thoughts on this is, okay, emotes, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe you have some cool hand signals while you're moving out as infantry. Maybe you can go do some push-ups or jumping jacks while you're messing around. Maybe you can even go and fake surrender, even try to ambush and bait people in with IEDs if you're insurgents. All this stuff isn't inherently bad to have. Emotes would actually be kind of cool in Squad, but how exactly are they going to move forward after emotes? And was this really the first option they thought? Didn't we have weapon skins given away for Kickstarters and competition winners and things like that? Why emotes? Why immediately jump to Fortnite? Now, before we get bogged down in all that, one of my main concerns is what is actually said in the very next paragraph. After years of releasing free updates for Squad, this is our first foray into monetizing Squad beyond the initial purchase. We have plans for more updates and to support the game beyond 2023. While many of these planned updates will be free, we also realize that we need a way to continue to fund the development of Squad. Paid content like emotes is one such way to help fund that development and continue our work on improving the game. Now, this brings up 2 problems in my mind. The first, well, although it's not confirmed, what this reads to me is that emotes are essentially a testing ground to see how the community responds to monetization. They even say that paid content like emotes is just one of the ways that they're currently looking at. And I know many people would be more than happy to support Squad optionally through things like emotes or even weapon skins if they were reasonably priced and fit within the whole milsim-ish tactical shooter environment. But part of the reason why weapon skins and emotes are successful in games like Fortnite or Warzone is because the games themselves are free to play, and the entire business model is dependent on making free-to-play players grind more or pay more in order to progress or show off. In Squad, you will pay $50 on your entry fee, and then whatever they decide to price in as emotes or skins, or in the future DLC and other content packs. Now, there isn't really any progression at all in Squad, and emotes that are immersion breaking or weapon skins that might even make a lot of money in other games, I don't really see it fitting in the in-game universe of a tactical milsim. It's one thing to make an emote pack with a thumbs up, a halt, waving, all that other stuff, but what happens when you run out of the regular hand signals? If the milsim-ish stuff sells, what's to say they won't try and push something out that's a little bit more goofy? Now, the second big problem I'm seeing is that this really just feels like a money grab. We'll be getting 1 emote pack for free. Everyone gets that, and actually, if you are a Kickstarter that qualified for the physical rewards, which were released a couple years ago, then you'll actually get the rest of the emotes that are going to be paid for free. But I'm guessing, and this might just be me being pessimistic here, but I'm guessing that these emote packs we're getting, well, I don't think that they're actually going to be really new content. If you open up the Squad SDK, which is the modding tool available if you get the Epic's Game Store app and you can download it for free, literally anybody can get it, even if you don't own Squad. You can just type in emote in the asset search bar and you'll see almost 80 different emotes. Now, some of these are duplicates or loops, but I think it's safe to say that just here alone, there are a good 20 to 30 emotes that are either already included in the game in some form of squad leader or fire team leader hand signal, or there are things that you might have seen on the training range or in the infantry tutorial. Now, to OWI's credit, I don't see a thumbs up here like they showed in the promotional image, but I do have a bad feeling that these assets that have been in the game for years are now going to be locked behind some arbitrary price point and sold to us as brand new packs, and well, that just feels wrong. This is actually taking content that was developed literally years ago and then just putting a bow tie on it, slapping 20 bucks and saying, here you go, enjoy your new content, pay us money please.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my bad. No problem.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Now, moving on in the announcement, the devs continue in saying that after years of releasing free updates for Squad, this is our first foray into monetizing Squad beyond the initial purchase. We understand that paid content in gaming can be controversial, and that previous leadership in Offworld had stated that paid DLC would never be added to Squad. As we look into the future, we see a long and healthy life for Squad. It has a large and dedicated player base. We have plans for more updates and to support the game beyond 2023. While many of these planned updates will be free, we also realize that we need a way to continue to fund the development of Squad. Paid content like Emotes is one such way to help fund that development and continue our work on improving the game. This all but confirms that the emotes are simply the tip of the monetization iceberg that, once again, I'm not necessarily opposed to. But in the past, I've also been under the assumption that I would never be paying for literally any type of DLC. There's no subscriptions, there's no battle passes. The devs have literally told us again and again that a faction or a map pack would just be added. Knowing that, yeah, I'm 100% down to buy some weapon skins. But now that's even up in the air. I mean, that's like saying that we would actually have to pay for V4 and the Chinese faction and the Chinese maps. And wait a second. Now that I think of it, we don't even have Chinese maps. Are there Pacific maps out there that we are simply not gonna get? Are we actually now gonna get half the faction and we have to pay for whatever Chinese faction maps were supposed to be released? This just causes a whole bunch of problems, and now people are going to be going to the absolute worst thoughts on how the devs can just squeeze money out of the players. I was originally thinking before this announcement that I was looking forward to something that said, hey, you can buy a desert camo for your AK-74. I would absolutely love that. It'd be super cool running around Talil and have a desert camo. But now I'm thinking, is it going to be like some weird Battlefield 2042 stuff where these skins are just completely outlandish and immersion breaking? I don't know. And the thing is, this announcement made it clear that the past leadership at OWI made all these promises of no paid DLC, made all these promises of we're going to make the game as realistic and as true to the immersion as possible and make sure that if you buy the game, that's all you're going to buy. That was old OWI, and they clarified that. And we now know that there are actually planned updates that are not free. I don't know about you, but that reads to me that we are actually going to be getting a DLC content pack in the form of a faction or a map in the near future. About a year ago, OWI officially hired Vlad Seraldi as the new CEO. And if you've never heard of him, it's probably because his past employment in Radical Entertainment, Hothead Studios, and Silicon Knights was heavily into mobile gaming. I'm sure he's managed plenty of games in the both mobile space and non-mobile space, and you can Google him. I mean, he's got a really good pedigree in things like, if you ever heard the Prototype series, that's a really popular series. People love Prototype. But the issue is, that was like a decade ago, and his most recent games were all focused on mobile gaming. And in the original announcement that was actually pushed out by OWI to the various gaming news organizations, the former CEO and now chairman of OWI, Will Stahl, was actually quoted in saying that Vlad's quote-unquote live service games experience is invaluable to refining the strategic vision of off-world industries moving forward. Well, with that, it's no surprise that if you hire someone to, well, make a live service game, that within 12 months, we are now seeing content akin to literally every other free-to-play game and games as a service, where you'll have a constant drip feed of content bundled up to make you pay the studio periodically. Remember how we all got the Canadian Armed Forces update as a free DLC years ago? Well, don't be surprised to see packs like Arma 3 in the future, which will ultimately start to fragment the community and cause people to feel like they're forced to buy all the content in order to play with their friends, also similar to Battlefield 4. Now, I'm being pretty negative about all this. It might be reactionary. You probably listen to this and half of y'all are like, yes, Moi, I agree with you. Another half are saying, dude, it's an emote. Why are you going off tinfoil hat theory? I get it. But the reason I'm being negative isn't that I don't believe that there shouldn't be monetization methods for Squad. Personally, this game that is now $50, well, I've put over 4,000 hours in it. I absolutely love this game. It is my go-to. I genuinely believe it is the best PvP tactical shooter out there in the market. I actually think that simple things like the weapon skins and patches for your uniform that are period specific and faction appropriate would actually be great. And I think plenty of players would purchase those in order to not just make themselves look cool, but support the studio and support the game that they've spent thousands and thousands of hours playing. To me, as someone that's known the studio for quite a while now, I've actually been to OWI out in Vancouver. I've done charity events with them. I've talked with the devs about a lot of squad stuff and just normal stuff. I like to think a lot of them are friends. I just think that out of all the methods that OWI could have picked in order to monetize squad, OWI looked at a pretty hardcore tactical shooter community and said, you know what? Let's do emotes. We should announce emotes first. It just all really feels tone deaf, and I think that's why it's coming off as such a shock to many on Reddit and Discord, in game, pretty much everywhere, with players now concerned on further problems, because emotes, well, that's kind of a big one to enter monetization with. If emotes are successful, weapon skins would obviously make sense. And if weapon skins are successful, well, what about player skins? This opens up the Pandora's box of more covert skins. And we're now running into problems like War Thunder, where you can actually spend $20 to add bushes to your tank, turning a pretty recognizable profile into something that absolutely disappears in the background. Could we see bush tanks in squad? Or maybe even ghillie suit snipers, because Timmy over here decided to spend $30 on the ghillie suit pack? I don't care about emotes. Add as many as you want. If you want to dab on the point, you can dab on the point. I don't care, dude. Backcaps suck. Dab, dance. Who cares? It's a slippery slope that I'm worried about, and it's the tone that OWI is using when they're making this announcement. To kind of sum up my own feelings, the devs included their own Q&A at the end of the announcement where they posed the question, will you start charging for maps or factions in the future? And their answer, our approach to the future of Squad is to keep it as inclusive as we possibly can. Creating maps and factions takes a lot of time and effort, and we wish for our entire community to be able to enjoy the fruits of our hard work. If you ask me, that is the most PR BS response to a question that they themselves made up. You literally made a question and then made the worst possible non-answer to that question that makes everybody reading it say, yeah, we're gonna have to buy the maps, aren't we? But what do you guys think? Would you pay for emotes, factions, or map packs in Squad? Am I completely going off the deep end on this and I should just take off the tinfoil hat? I don't know. I don't think I'm crazy, but let me know your thoughts on the new direction for Squad in the comments below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. But that's it for me. Until next time, peace.